we must respect the office of the deputy president. If it's about corruption, if it's about tribalism, there is no difference between the number one and number two. The only difference between the two is that Gachagua speaks tribalism, but Ruto exercises tribalism. And the silence of the president in this matter should not be taken lightly. In fact, his silence is a clear indication that he has given a go-ahead for the members of parliament to actually impeach his deputy president. Poor oversight from members of parliament. Too much greediness. Instead of focusing on critical issues, they are preoccupied with an issue of one person in the name of Rigathi Gachagua. So, fellow Kenyans, the government has successfully managed to divert the focus of Kenyans from critical issues into very lightly issues like the impeachment of the deputy president Gachagua. It is very sad to note that health is a very critical matter in this country. But the government has managed to divert the focus of Kenyans from talking or from discussing issues like the SHA and SHIF to reduce us to a political and individual issues and differences that they are having with the deputy president of Kenya. Right now, as we're talking, the SHA has reduced the dialysis cost, which was initially stated by NHIF at 9,000 shillings, up to 2,300 shillings. Something that is very sad, and we have dialysis patients struggling and finding it very difficult to get their medications. Today, as we talk, we have many patients with critical conditions who cannot manage to pay for their medications because of the transition we've had. Ladies and gentlemen, it is very sad to note that we are focusing on the issues of the UDA politics, whereas there's a looming scandal that is hiding and it has been drawn away from us. This sharp thing that cannot even be explained by the CS herself. The CS is finding it so difficult to tell Kenyans what is in the SHA, what is SHIF, and how are they going to work. So we are asking, if the CS who has all the resources and the experts around her cannot explain, how is Mama Mboga on the ground going to understand this SHA thing? How is the vijana kwa mashinani wataelewa hii maneno? Wazee pale mashinani watapataje hii maneno? So we are telling the government to focus on critical issues. We cannot be discussing an individual matter. Talk of the Rigathi Gachagua impeachment, whereas Kenyans are dying, hospitals are full with patients who cannot manage. In fact, the registration process alone has proven to be so difficult, tedious, and time costing. So we are asking the question. The government is so much focused on rebranding the building to name it from NHIF to SHA, whereas the real service is not there. Unfortunately enough, the employees who are there at NHIF, all of them have been rendered, if not, but majority have been rendered jobless as we're talking right now. Yet we were told that there will be a smooth transition from NHIF to SHA. Today we are having employees being rendered jobless. Patients cannot get medication as it used to be. And we have people who had paid for the NHIF up to yesterday when they finally closed it. So we are asking the CS to come out clear and tell the country how this thing is going to work. And if she cannot explain it, atoke, awache watu wengine wafanye maneno, but I don't think it is necessary that we focus on things that are not necessary. It is very sad to note that the issues around the Rigathi Gachagua impeachment are coming at a time where we recently had the Adani scandal, we had the SHA scandal, we had the new funding model of university scandal. These are things that have now been put outside the public limelight so that we can focus on the impeachment of an individual. So as we focus on this as Kenyans, these scandals are going. I want to tell you Kenyans that there's a looming billion scandal, multi-billion scandal that's going to come out of this SHA. If we can reduce dialysis cost from 9,000 to 2,300, the difference, this money, where is it going to? And who is going to pay for it for the patients to be treated? I want to say that the impeachment motion against Gachagua can be associated to a case where a hyena is accusing its kid or her kids that they are smelling nice and they are ready to be eaten just because they want to eat them. The president, based on the accusations that were labeled against the deputy president Gachagua, if it's about corruption, if it's about tribalism, there is no difference between the number 1 and number 2. The only difference between the two is that Gachagua speaks tribalism, but Ruto exercises tribalism. Look at the appointments in different parastatals in this country, appointments of CEOs and top officials of this country. The president actually exercises, he takes action on issues of tribalism. But now, because Rigathi Gachagua was now walking around and talking it, it is now a case that he must go home. And the silence of the president in this matter should not be taken lightly. In fact, his silence is a clear indication that he has given a go-ahead for the members of parliament to actually impeach his deputy president. And it's something that we must ask questions and he must come out and talk. Because if he keeps keeping quiet and the deputy president gets impeached, then we are reducing the office of the deputy presidency into an office where somebody can just sit somewhere and marshal up members of parliament and take you home anytime, any day they want. We must respect the office of the deputy president, even if we do not respect the office holder. And that office must serve for a term of at least 5 years in regards to the constitution. If they were elected, they need to serve. It should not be reduced into an issue where the president will wake up one day and fire the deputy president through impeachment. We are going to go back to the era of the Moi, and we cannot allow to go to the Nyayo era. We came from that point, we've struggled to reach here. So we are telling the presidency and the government and the regime as a whole, we must respect the office of the deputy president. And to those who are celebrating that Rigathi Gachagua is being taken home, you must also tread carefully. Tomorrow you will be holding that office and you will have a Ruto-like president who will just wake up one day and say, okay, fine, young man, young girl, you have to go home. Because why? I have numbers in parliament. The parliament must also be careful, and members of parliament must stick to their roles, which are 3: legislation, oversight, and representation. As it stands right now, we are having issues with CDF because of poor legislation, poor representation, poor oversight from members of parliament. Too much greediness. Instead of focusing on critical issues, they are preoccupied with an issue of one person in the name of Rigathi Gachagua. Rigathi Gachagua cannot be a discussion of the whole country, whereas we are having serious patients who are dying. Kenyans cannot go to school. Students cannot be in class. Lecturers are striking. Everybody is striking. In fact, this country is striking apart from the president. In fact, the president also is striking by keep on flying outside the country. So we are saying that the 291 MPs who signed the petition should be reminded that they represent Kenyans, and that matter must be brought to public participation qua ground, so that they get to hear what are the people of Madeira thinking about this. What are the people from Kisumu West thinking about this? This is not an issue. This should not be an issue of Raila, Ruto, and Gachagua. This is an issue of the entire country, because tomorrow we are going to seek those positions of deputy presidents, and we would not want to be mistreated and be handled in a way that does not respect the constitution. And therefore, we want to say that we must operate within the lines of the constitution, and the CS in charge of health must come out and give proper clarification and understanding of what is SHA, what is SHIF, and how is the transition going to take place. And she must assure us that the employees of NHIF will not lose their work or their jobs. She must assure us that the same way NHIF paid for dialysis at 9,000, we will get that 2,300. And she must explain to us that the 2.7% that we are giving, how much is the value that we are going to get. Because we are not going to be in a situation where we pay over 3,000 Kenyan shillings and we get services of 200 shillings. Then there must be an explanation to where 2,800 shillings is the difference. So 2.75, we must get proper communication, proper clarification, and proper guidance on how it's going to be spent.